We are literally a few hours after the Precision Fuel and Hydration Ironman 70.3 World Championships, and I am already joined by the newly crowned champion, Jelle Geens. I don't know if I've said that right. Have I done that? Come on,
More
tell
or
me.
less. The last name, it's hard. It's Geens.
Geens. Okay.
Yeah, it's really hard.
I know we all butcher it, and this is the first time I've met you, so now I can get it on the record. Now I have no excuse.
Yeah.
Anyway, less about your name, more about your performance, Jelle. Coming into this, before we go to the race, just talk me through a little bit of your prep this summer. Obviously, you've been focusing a lot on the T100s. When did it turn to this, and how's your season sort of been focused around this event?
Yeah, I think my season had two parts. Indeed, the T100. I tried to get it like very front-loaded, where I did lots of races in the beginning of the year, so that I could prep properly for this World Championships. Because I won last year, so I really want to be in my best shape to try and defend the title. So I did quite a lot of races in the beginning, and then I had, I think, between my last race and now, 7 or 8 weeks. I went on altitude camp in Andorra with the family, then went down 3 weeks before this race. We're here for 2 weeks, so really I think we did everything right to be in top shape for this race. And then in 5 weeks we have the final of the T100 in Doha, which works perfect that we did this big block into races, because I feel like for me it really works well where I do an intense training period before a big race.
And you mentioned last year, obviously I didn't say that in the intro, but you were coming into this the defending champion. And how has your prep differed into this race compared to last year?
Well, last year was quite a weird prep, because we moved actually from Girona to all the way the other side in Australia. So we had to pack up the house, all our stuff, had to sell a lot, had to ship stuff. All with a baby. Like, we had help from my parents, luckily, and then flew all the way to Australia, and then it was a month to Taupo, I think. Stayed with my partner's parents to also have help with the baby, to try and be optimized training wise. But it was quite a different feeling, where back then I wasn't really 100% sure how shape was. It was also very hot in Australia, which is what I wasn't used to, so training was going a bit like so, where now I feel like, I felt confident, because I felt like I was really in a good shape. Everything went well, I did all the training I wanted to do, so it was quite a different prep, but it's led to the same result.
It definitely has, and I mean, it sounds like your prep was better. So were you more confident, or did you feel like, obviously this time everyone had eyes on you, whereas last time you came in maybe slightly under the radar? Yeah,
definitely. I think last year I was maybe one of the favorites, definitely not the top favorite. I think I was up there, but maybe with another 4 or 5. Also, I didn't have much expectation myself. I didn't have to, where now, indeed, like, I had a lot of like media obligations here before the race, lots of sponsor obligation, trying to train, like lots of, which is really cool as well, lots of people asking pictures before the race. So it does give quite a bit more stress leading into a race, and I could feel that, like, even just a week before, like, I wasn't really nervous, but I felt like I was deep inside like a bit anxious. Like, I remember like 2 days before the race, my dad was driving me, and I got a bit like annoyed with him driving slow, and which normally I don't care because I have time, but it's like, all these like little things that I could see that I was nervous.
And the nervousness combined with the confidence, coming into this, who did you sort of feel could be your main competitors? Were you worried about anyone in particular? Because you obviously you were pushed to the limits today.
Well, I'd say the Norwegians for sure. They did an incredible race in Nice, Ironman World Champs. So they showed they've showed it not only in Nice, they've showed it like years and years on, that they're super good. So I definitely thought they would be the ones to be the biggest challenge for sure. I think. And then I heard in the conversations leading up that Gustav wasn't in his best shape, so I thought it would be Casper and Christian, which ended up being number 2 and 3 as well. And I thought some guys of the T100, some
we had a lot of WTCS races.
WTCS competitors as well. I thought they might be in contention, but I was like doubting, because they had their grand final 3 weeks ago in Australia. They had to do the trip here. And I feel like these kind of races are so full on from the start that somewhere they crack, and I think it showed. Like, they all have the potential, like a Crociani who came third in in Volleyball in the final, like you need to be super talented to be able to do that. I've done it like a lot of years as well, and it's super competitive. So he definitely has the potential. I just think he didn't have enough time. So I was mainly focused on the Norwegians.
And we probably should now talk about the race. Tactics going into the swim, were you hoping for a big pack? Talk me through it.
Yeah, I was the first one to choose a position on the pontoon, and I decided to go quite left but leave a few gaps because I like to be on the inside of the buoy, but then I didn't really have the takeout speed for some reason today, and I was getting a bit too bunched up around the first buoy, and it got quite hectic. And
I saw lots of guys coming out with out caps on.
Yeah, indeed. So yeah, it definitely wasn't the swim I was hoping for. It was quite a bit less. I guess I've swam really well this year. It's always my weakness, but I've swam really well this year, and this race I was quite a bit off in time, but also definitely in places. I think there was a lot of triathletes in between me and the front. But yeah, in the end it was all still quite close.
And transition looks mad from T1 to start with, and then onto the bike. I mean, it was a massive group that was sort of forming. When did you start to find your rhythm and your position?
Well, I jumping on the bike because I had a not so good swim. I was like, I need to go to the front. And then the first roundabout where we turned right, I just overcooked the corner and I crashed.
You've got a bad sort of history with roundabouts.
Yeah, I crashed indeed. My last race as well on a roundabout. So yeah, that wasn't an ideal start, and like my bike wasn't like my bike computer fell off. Well, it broke off, like the holder broke off. My bars were like a bit, the right one was a bit like this, so I was like biking like this. And then actually the worst was my rear derailleur was like fully bent. So I couldn't get in my like smallest gearing.
Oh no!
So I had good legs, luckily. So I biked to the front, like took me like to the top of that first climb where we go into a little town. It's a bit downhill, flatter. I was in third position there. I quickly stopped to bend my rear derailleur back. And luckily, because everyone goes so slow there, I think I was like fifth or sixth back in line. And from there on, I was like, okay, now I can settle into the race.
What about the aero bars? Did you just ride on the...
You get used to it. My visor actually was gone as well, so some of the downhills I was a bit like, oh, like there was quite...
Just close your eyes.
Yeah, because it was going really fast. It was just like straight. I don't know how fast because I didn't have a bike computer.
I heard from some of the info that I think 88 kilometers was hit by some of you guys, so probably you included.
Yeah, I did on training already over 80, so probably, yeah.
Especially
we were
without
lucky,
a
it wasn't much. I think with the females, with the women, it was a lot more side wind.
Yeah.
Because you see they were struggling with the...
On the bridges it was getting us.
Yeah, but here it was, for the race it was okay.
Because we were wondering, sat here, because we obviously aren't on the course watching it, it was windier today watching than
well, especially
maybe...
now it's windy, but during the race it was okay, I think. A bit on the run for sure, a bit maybe that last descent into town, but I feel like further in you're a bit more covered maybe.
Yeah.
And there it wasn't too bad.
And how did you keep your head through all this? Because that sounds like a lot of drama for one person to deal with and still be able to keep your race plan.
Well, luckily I had good legs, so I felt good. Well, when I was laying on the ground there, I was thinking, oh, this is over, you know. I screamed a few times, the F word, but yeah, I slowly got back into it, you know, slowly got back into the race. First it was like, okay, like assessing the damage a bit, those first kilometers on the bike, and then trying to get to the front. It was quite hectic with so many people there. But then, yeah, I got into the race, and my focus turned more into the race and less on the adversity I had.
And what was the actual plan beyond these issues? What were you always planning on going to the front of the race and sort of controlling it from the front on the bike?
Yeah, I wanted to try and stay in the front, but not drilling the pace. I think there are other people who were probably gonna do it because they need it for the run. Like I think Magnus Ditlev really drove the pace. Rico Bogen, Mathis Margier was very strong. Yeah, so my plan was more to like just try and follow them because the climbs suit me a lot here, and I felt really strong there compared to some of the others. I could always overtake and close little gaps, but then yeah, some of them are like 20 kilograms heavier than me, so the downhill bits is where I then struggled. But my tactic always was try and move up towards the front more, towards the top of a climb, so I had a bit of space of people overtaking me, which worked out well.
And then into T2, I mean, it wasn't compared to your drama on the bike, it was small, but I saw your bike fall over and it didn't look like the tiniest transition.
Bit, yeah. It wasn't the quickest transition for sure. I always put my bike with my saddle.
Yeah.
but because how my saddle is on my seat post now, I don't have much room.
Got you.
So it just fell off. So I had to put it with my handlebars. So yeah, I lost a bit of time there, and then actually my hip started hurting quite a bit in the beginning of the run, because I feel like you're in the bike position for so long, and then starting to run. So that first K on the run, I was like, oh, I can't probably finish the race. But then it warmed up, you know, and
just a bit.
from there on, I felt good and like could catch them quite comfortably.
And I guess, you know, you moved through the field comfortably, and then you met Christian. What was the tactic then?
Yeah, so because I closed the gap quite quickly on them, and like with not like overdoing it, and I set in for a little bit, but I thought the pace was too slow, and then we were in the uphill, which suits me, so I didn't attack, and we dropped Jonas Schomburg, but Christian stayed with me. Yeah, and then I tried him to take some pulls, which he didn't want to do. He always said like, I'm waiting for Casper, who is.
So you have a conversation when you're running?
Yeah, a little bit.
And with that knowledge, were you like, oh, Casper's not going to catch us, or what?
Well, it's an excuse, you know. He was never like.
You knew more.
Yeah,
what
he was
saying?
30 seconds behind. He said even with like 4K to go, he won't make 30 seconds up in 4K. Even it was more by then. I know it's his tactic. I know he does it a lot. I've raced him before as well, and we've actually been in a very similar position in a WTCS race in Yokohama in 2021, where he breathes very hard behind you. You think he's done, and then he attacked me and I couldn't respond.
I think even in the Olympics we thought he was done when he went and took the gold.
So I knew I had to keep something, so I set a good pace, but a pace that I felt quite comfortable with, and every uphill I put the pressure on, because I think those were my strong points, hoping to make his legs suffer a bit, and then when his attack finally came with like a K and a half to go,
I saw on the
I thought
corner,
it would come a bit earlier, to be honest. I thought it was maybe going to be with like 5K to go or something, but when he did it, actually I still felt quite comfortable, so I was like, okay, this is good, and I'm going to wait now just for the sprint finish, which I then did, and then it still was close.
But did you feel confident? You always knew that you have the sprint over Christian? Have you been in that position with him before?
I don't think so. I have been with him in that position, but in the end, the sprint finish after such a long race, it's also who has the most left, and I felt that I still had quite a bit in the tank, and I know I'm quite fast after a hard and long race. Yeah, and then was just to try to be first at the U-turn. I think we both wanted that, and because the path got so narrow, it was a bit elbow to elbow. But yeah, I just had a little bit more speed than him, and then tried to ease off a little bit in the U-turn, and then really accelerate after the U-turn, and that's where he cracked, I think.
Well, it was so exciting to watch, and the pace you were running at was just phenomenal. Every time I saw you come past, it was just like, whoa. Did you think that was sort of a 107 was what you were going to have to run to win it? Did you think you could have gone faster? Like, what was the sort of running plan coming into this? Because there was lots of chat beforehand about what time.
Yeah, Casper was saying he needed 106, I think he said, and well, if he ran a 106, he would have won. But although I do think, though, because it got quite tactical with us, I'm pretty sure I could have run quite a bit quicker as well. Like, if I was pushed by someone else on the run, I think I could potentially run a minute faster or something. I think I had it in me. But I said this before as well, in the end, like, it doesn't matter what you run, you know, you want to win, and like you see now, it just gets tactically, and
you're racing,
run,
you're not doing
you're
a time
racing,
trial.
you're not just going for a specific time. So yeah, 107.30, I think, something like this was good enough for this race.
It was very much good enough.
Yeah.
And I kind of feel like, partly because we have the mutual partner of Precision Fuel and Hydration, but I'd love to know very quickly your top line numbers, but also how do you feel when you're running that fast? Are you taking on like several gels when you're running at that pace? Do you carry them all? Do you get them from your special needs?
Yeah, I carried 4 gels, but 2 dropped at one point in the beginning of the run somewhere, but then I had gels taped at the special needs bottles as well. So I used 3 gels of the 30 grams. I dropped my caffeine gel, so it was without caffeine. And of the last one, I took one at 6K, one at 12K, and the last one was at, I think, 18.5K with like 2.5Ks to go. But there I had just maybe like half. I just thought like a little top up, because I always try to time it where I have a gel just before an aid station so I can drink a little bit. Because otherwise it gets a bit like hard to swallow in your mouth, especially with like when you're doing exercise, I guess. And then trying to get as much water as possible, which is hard here because they give these small cups. But I had two little bottles of water in the special needs as well, so I grabbed them as well. So I try to drink as much as possible as water as well.
Okay. And I mean, I know PFNH will give us the full rundown, but what was your target on the bike and did you hit it?
Yeah, 120 grams an hour, and I did it. Yeah, I took 260 with me. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I have them all in bottles.
Yeah.
2 bottles of the 1 liter, the big ones, and I finished it all. Yeah.
And did you carry were your bottles all full going up the first climb, or did you pick up something at the first aid station?
No. I always prefer to just have everything with me, so I don't have to rely on aid stations. So I took it all up me. 2 kilograms worth of nutrition and liquid.
It probably feels a lot when you're that light. That's a big percentage, but
well,
you've got the legs, as you said.
Yeah.
And I mean, now hopefully it's some celebrations once you finish chatting with people like us. What's the sort of recovery plan? And you've obviously got the big race. Are you doing Dubai or just going straight to Qatar for the T100
Just
final?
going straight to Qatar. I'm going to skip Dubai. Yeah,
okay.
We're actually traveling back to Australia. So after this, I'll meet my family, I think, in the room, have a shower, have some food because I'm quite hungry.
I feel bad now that we've kept you this long. You haven't even had a shower yet and you're chatting with us.
No, I'm still under the whatever beer they gave us at the podium.
Oh, won't come too close. And just a bit of I guess, because I sort of relate to this, that you're obviously a full-time athlete, I'm not, but you're training with a little one and you seem to be obviously excelling at that. You became a champion with a 1-year-old. You've now defended your title with, she's about to turn 2 next week, is that
next
right?
Sunday, yeah.
Any tips for some of the parents who watch at GTN of how you're balancing it and how you make it happen?
Yeah, I think for us it's lots of planning to be able for me to do my training and recovery, and for my partner to do whatever she needs and wants to do, and then lots of help of family as well. I think here in Europe we have the help of my parents. In Australia we have the help of Kate's parents. But yeah, for us it's lots of planning. I think a lot of our lives evolve around me doing this sport, but I really try to also, for my partner Kate, to have her time for herself as well. And I also love spending time with Sienna, our daughter. So I really, compared to maybe 5 years ago, I rest a little bit less in between training, but I feel like spending time with Sienna also gives me energy. So I'm able to do it. I think you gotta be realistic as well, where if you have a busy week, taking care of your little one, like maybe train a little bit less. And I also really, my Wednesday and Thursday, Sunday, are days where I have family days, where I just do a swim and a gym in the morning, and that's me done for training. So then I spend lots of time with Sienna and Kate, and then the other days are a lot of training then, because you still train around 30 hours in training weeks. But that's how we try to do it, yeah.
Well, it sounds like whatever you're doing is obviously working. Good luck for your travels. I do not envy a long haul flight with a little one, but sounds like you're good at it. Final question, I know you've still got this season to go, you've had this massive win today. Do you have any idea of what next year is going to look like?
I don't know specific races, but I really want to be in Kona. I really want to race Kona.
Okay.
I feel like always the atmosphere in an Ironman race is so good with all the age groupers. I just really love it, the whole build up, the race itself. It was also here like so many people cheering. So I really want to be in Kona, so that means I have to qualify and do an Ironman before the deadline. Which one I don't know yet. I really want to also try and do the T100 with it, which they haven't come out with a calendar yet, so we're waiting for that. But anyways, like you said, I still have Qatar in 5 weeks, and then we'll slowly finalize the race plan. But yeah, it's going to be big if I want to do T100, defend the 70.3 world title, go to Kona,
and be a dad. Wow.
And be a dad,
we are very excited to see what next year looks like for you. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank
Congratulations.
you.
Go and enjoy your shower and your family time.
Thank you very much.
Thanks,
Thank
Jelle.
you.